What it is, guys, your boy Ansel with an episode of Alanizing, and today we got the conference championship review. Obviously going to get into the AFC and the NFC conference championships, my Super Bowl 58 preview, and the little question, bro. Is Brock Purdy on the same level as Joe Burrow? We're going to get into that in the end, as the title says. But let's start off with the AFC championship, all right? Kansas City, they beat the Ravens 17-10, and it was a great game, but I want to start off with the Chiefs, all right? I want to start off specifically with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I mean, what more can you say about them, bro? Probably the greatest offensive duo in NFL history. They now have 17 touchdowns in the postseason as a duo, the most in NFL history. Kelce now has 19 touchdowns in the playoffs. He's only behind Jerry Rice at 22. And Travis Kelce has 152 catches in the postseason, the most of all time. He might be the GOAT tight end. Now, I have Gronk ahead of him right now, but Travis Kelce's making that push. Maybe he gets another Super Bowl or ties him in Super Bowls. Then I would say Travis Kelce is the GOAT. But right now, I would have him behind Gronk by just a bit. But in this game, Kelce had 11 catches on 11 targets, 116 yards, and 1 touchdown in the first half. Mahomes, who was 30 for 39, 241 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and a 91 QBR and 100 passer rating. I mean, just greatness, bro, especially in the first half. Like, on the fourth down play to Kelce, that play was huge. The third down play to him, and then the back shoulder touchdown. Like, they were cooking the first half, and you couldn't stop them. The Ravens just couldn't stop them. They were cooking, and all you gotta say is greatness, to be honest. Greatness. The Ravens D, was getting cooked the first half. They gave up 100 passing yards. They didn't have answers. Like, why are you single covering Travis for? Like, bro, you gotta double team him. They were having single coverage on him, and he was just eating that up. But in the second half, they came back. They did double cover Kelce. That forced Mahomes to go to other receivers. They started to blitz Mahomes more and more, which was kind of shocking because you're not supposed to blitz Mahomes at all. And that led to 3 straight punts in the second half. Let me hear, just if you didn't hear that clearly. The Ravens forced Mahomes to punt 3 straight times, and they scored 0 points, the Chiefs did, in the second half. So the Ravens defense, they did their part in the second half. As much as Mahomes and Kelce were great in the first half, they were stopped in the second half, and I give the Ravens D a lot of credit for that. So they did their part. But this is where I want to get into the Ravens offense, man. All right, Lamar Jackson. He was 20 for 37, 272 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a 42 QBR, 75 passer rating. And he was the leading rusher for his team with 54 yards. In the beginning of the game, it was looking good, bro. You know, the touchdown pass to Zay Flowers, I was like, Lamar, he's setting the record straight. I could throw with accuracy. I was like, okay, Lamar, he got it. And then that throw he caught by himself, like, bro, it was looking like he was making magical plays. But then Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, he blitzed him 50% of the time, which is like 20 times this game. He basically said, like, Lamar, you can't make decisive throws under pressure. And I was what I was saying in the beginning before the game. I was saying, if you go in zone, Lamar's obviously going to run. He's going to run in between that zone because you're going to have the linebackers and the corner and the defensive backs. Their backs are going to be behind Lamar, so Lamar could just run. If you go blitz, you're going to come right at him. He's going to have to move. He's going to have to make accurate throws on the run. And basically, Spagnuolo said he can't do that. And he couldn't. The Chiefs shut down the Ravens' run, only 89 yards rushing. They only ran it 8 times outside of Lamar. I'm going to give credit to the Chiefs' defense, all right? They rattled Lamar. He made bad throws. You know, that Justice Hill pass and that interception and triple coverage. There's also drops. I mean, the receivers really weren't any help outside of Flowers. He had 5 catches, but it was not enough. So I think Lamar deserves blame, but not as much as the guy that I previously mentioned, man. Zay Flowers. All right, he had 5 catches, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. All right, they're all good stats, but he made 2 bonehead mistakes. The first one, right, was the taunting penalty. Like, you cost your team 15 yards, bro. In a critical point when you can't get no yards on this Chiefs defense, you cost your team 15 yards. I think it's a stupid rule, bro. I don't like the taunting rule. Like, let's just let them have fun, bro. Like, come on, let's just play football out there. I get it. But they're going to call that. We all know they're going to call that. The refs are soft. They're going to call that. So, you better not do that. And then, even if you don't taunt, the next play doesn't happen, which is the worst one out of all of them, to be honest. The worst one. In my opinion, that play is what called the game, right? Flowers diving into the end zone, fumbling the ball, caused by L'Jarius Sneed that results in a touchback. Why do you ask? Why do you ask? This is the play that called game. Because it's a cardinal sin to do that. It's a cardinal sin to dive in the end zone. Well, he didn't need to dive at all. The game isn't 17-13 where you need a touchdown and there's 3 seconds left, so you have to score one. It's a 10-point game with a whole quarter left. The whole fourth quarter is left. That's like 15 minutes on the clock. He could have just went down and they run it in the next play, because then it would have been a first. He had a first down, so he didn't need to dive. They already have a first down. They're like at the 2-yard line. Let's just run it in with Lamar or Gus Edwards or whoever, and they make it 17-14 minutes. A whole new game. Look, Lamar probably gained some confidence out of that. It boosts the whole team at that. Chiefs, maybe they might get a little shaky, like, we have to score now. We haven't scored at all this second half, but now we have to score because the Ravens just scored. So it would be a different game. But no, this dude had to be the hero. Zay Flowers had to. I know he's a rookie, but he had to be a hero and try to dive for the score. Like, bro, that's what cost them the game, to be honest. In my opinion, that's what cost them the game. Like, yes, the offense wasn't doing good all the first half, but exactly why it cost them. Because they finally had a drive going. They finally were being able to move the ball against the Chiefs, and this dude tries to play hero. Like, that's what cost them the game. There was a lot of flags on Mahomes, right? But I think they were right. The face mask and the roughing the passer. They didn't call the one on Isaiah Likely, which they should have. You know, they should have called it, but I don't know, man. It would have been huge for the Ravens too. They might have gone a touchdown after that, but they didn't get it. I feel bad for Lamar, because even though it was kind of self-inflicted, that the media was gonna kill him, and they did, man. Monday morning, the day after, they were killing him. They were saying, "Oh my God, this man can never get it done. Like, what is this man doing?" And he did play. I wouldn't say he's played out of the. You know, he didn't play great, but he didn't play bad either. And like I said, I blame him mostly on Zay Flowers, bro. Like, come on, man. You see your team struggling and you're going to do something like that? Not it. But the Ravens are out and the Chiefs go to Super Bowl 58. The NFC Championship game, right? The Niners came back and they won 34-31. I'm still in disbelief, man. I'm still in disbelief. I can't believe basically a week later, and I can't believe that we actually won that game. I mean, like, first half, I was stunned. Like, bro, I was depressed. I was thinking about the haters, the people that hate the Niners. I was thinking about another year of failure, bro. The third straight year we're out in the NFC Conference Championship game. Like, bro. Again, like, I was just low, man. It was crazy, bro. And then I'm seeing my defense get shredded for 100+ rushing yards. Gibbs and Montgomery, they were killing us. They were going up and down the field. And then we see Brock throws the interception. It was deflected. I really wouldn't blame it. It was deflected and they got it. And we were down. And then after all that, we're down 24-7. Oh, it was horrible, bro. Like, the tackling was horrible. There was no energy. They didn't look like they were prepared. They were just out there lollygagging. And man, I just remember at halftime, I was in our group chat, Fantasy League group chat. Shout out my group chat. And I'm talking about that Kyle Shanahan might get fired, bro. I'm literally saying that at halftime. He might get fired because there's no way we're losing 24-7. And it was the third straight year we're out of the NFC Conference Championship. Like something has to happen. That's how low it got. And Kyle Shanahan said at halftime that he just told the team that we're only down 17, we could come back. And then Brock Purdy was saying that no one was rah-rah, no one was yelling. They were just all like a little bit quiet, they were just ready to play in the second half. Now, the second half, we came out a little better. Okay, Jennings, he makes that one-handed grab on the first drive of the second half, and we score a field goal, 24-10. Get some juice, all right? Lions get the ball back, and they have a good drive. It was like a 47-yard drive, but they go for it on 4th and 2. They try to knock us out. That they were going for the knockout. This was going to be the knockout. Like, if they actually got it on us, I think we're done. We're deflated. We're not coming back. So I don't blame Dan Campbell on this one, on this 4th and down, because if he gets it, bro, we're done. I real shit. If they got that 4th and 2, whole team would be deflated. Like, yeah, we're not coming back from this one. So I don't blame him for going on it, but Josh Reynolds drops it, and this is what changed the game. This is where the Niners got some juice. We got a touchdown. All right, we're saying if we get a touchdown, we're in a 1-score game, and anything can happen. And it happened, bro. IU catches the deflected ball off Vildor. Miracle play. He wasn't even supposed to grab that at all. And then we score. Well, he scores. Ayuk scored a touchdown a few plays later, and that got the boys hyped up. Because on the next play, the next Lions' first play of their drive, Gibbs fumbled the ball, caused by Tashawn Gibson. Armstead recovers, and a few plays later, bro, Christian McCaffrey's in the end zone, and it's 24-24, like that. Switched on like that. And I mean, bro, shout out my boy Felipe. I was at his house watching the game. His whole house was energized. The sideline was energized. Levi Stadium was energized. Like, everything came into fruition. The defense then forces a punt, and we score a field goal, and now we're up 27-24 going into the 4th quarter. Like, what just happened? It just switched like that. This is where I think the Lions, they lost it. Well, Dan Campbell lost it, because then they go for it on another 4th down at hour 30, and they obviously don't convert it, and if they went for the field goal, it could have tied it 27-27, and I think that's where Dan Campbell lost it, bro. I think he was tone deaf right here, because all the momentum changed in our favor. Everything was going in our favor. Every little bounce ball, everything was going in our favor. He should have just gone for a field goal, man, because you gotta stop. This is a term in basketball. You gotta stop the bleeding. You gotta get something in your way, in your favor, and he just didn't. He didn't go for the field goal. I think if he got a field goal, it's 20-27. Now it's a close game. Now it's like, okay, we gotta do something, but he just did it. So that's where I blame Dan Campbell on this. After that failed 4th down conversion, we go 70 yards. Mitchell touchdown. Lions get it back. We trying to waste time, but they score. So now it's 34-31. They have no time left. They go for the onside. Kittle recovers it. Doesn't even reach 10 yards. And we win the game. Insane, bro. Okay, my MVP, I think the league MVP should be Christian McCaffrey. He had 90 yards this game. 2 touchdowns on the ground. Like 90 yards rushing. 2 touchdowns on the ground. In the air, he had 4 catches for 48 yards. Big yards on big runs, but he just never gave up. He was always hustling. The touchdown to make it 34 points on the scoreboard. He had like a 25-yard gain, and that just gave us even more energy. The trade looks better than it ever happened, and we're in this position because of Christian McCaffrey. Gotta give my boy props, bro. I would vote him as a league MVP. Over Lamar, over Tua, mostly over Lamar, I would have CMC, but since he's a running back, they may not give it to him, but we'll see. Purdy, bro. Brock Purdy. Last week, Keyshawn Johnson on Undisputed said he needed to see a double-digit comeback by Purdy to prove he's legit. And he got it. 17-point comeback where Purdy was 20 out of 31, 267 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 88 QBR, 89 passer rating. I think he played a really solid game. I wouldn't say he played great, but he played solid. There were some throws that were wacky, but most of the time, solid. The throw to Kittle, the throw to Juszczyk, solid game. When we needed him, he came up. When we needed him the most, he proved his worth. His running ability, his mobility is what kept the drives alive. He had 48 yards rushing, 21 yards to get a first down on the Mitchell touchdown drive. Like a few times he had to do it to keep these drives going. So his mobility was proven worth. He didn't need to prove himself like I gotta pass the ball. He's seen it, he ran it, and he got the first down. So that's what we needed. That's what we needed in this game. Debo and Ayuk, big steppers in this game, bro. 11 catches together and 100 plus receiving yards. The defense was getting slacked, but they tightened up in the second half, and they needed to get the stops. When they needed to get the turnovers, they did. I was so upset with them in the first half, but they totally redeemed themselves. Shout out Dumb and Dumber. Totally redeemed themselves in the second half, so I'm happy with them. That better not happen in the Super Bowl, but well, let's see. Goff, Jared Goff, he was 25 for 41 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 59 QB yard, 88 passer rating. I think he actually played a really good game, all right? The drops were not on him. They just didn't grab the ball. And he had to play against all that momentum. I feel bad for him, all right? He didn't deserve that, Mr. Jared Goff, but it is what it is. Gibbs and Montgomery, 140 rushing yards together, 2 touchdowns. They were killing us, but we came back. It was a great matchup. Their O-line versus our run defense, they were killing us that first half, but we switched it. The receivers, Josh Reynolds, Amon St. Brown, they were doing great the first half, but then those drops kept coming up and drop after drop, and that pressure just started getting to the Lions. Especially to Josh Reynolds. It started getting at him, and he had 2 drops, and that was the end of that. The Lions defense, their run D was great the first half. Everything for the Lions was great the first half, basically. Right? Everything was great, but they just started falling. But our offense in the first half was actually doing well, in my opinion. Like we had yards on them. We were getting up and down not up and down, but we were getting on the field. Like we were moving the ball. But the second half collapsed from them, bro. And the CMC and Purdy just ran them over. And that's where we got it going. CJ, he was hilarious. He was waving us goodbye at half. And look what happened to you, brother. You were talking too early, bro. And that's what happened. Now you're saying bye-bye, yeah, because you're going to Cancun. You're going to the Cancun Bowl, buddy. Let's see how the Lions do. Well, let's see how you do over there, because I ain't hating on the Lions. I'm hating on you for talking too much shit when the game ain't even over yet. So, I'm talking shit about Debo. Talking about, he's just a running back. Alright, bro. This is what happens, bro. But they move on. And now we're in the Super Bowl. For Super Bowl 58, it is us, the Niners, number 1 seeded Niners in the NFC versus the 3-seeded Chiefs in the AFC. The Niners right now are favored by 2. I don't think that's right, okay? Most people are picking KC. And, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got the best quarterback in the league, so why wouldn't you pick them? And they have experience, they've been here, they've won, they've lost in the Super Bowl, so, I'm surprised they are not favored. The Chiefs, they will be wearing their red jerseys, and we'll be wearing the white ones. I wanted to wear the Niners to wear the throwback ones, but whatever, I don't know why they made choose it, because it's the third one, but I would have wanted to see the throwbacks in the Super Bowl. So let's get into the preview, all right? Football tactics. Niners defense was the Chiefs. So in a Niner fan perspective, I'm obviously going to say the Niner fan perspective because that's what I want to happen. We got to stop the run. These 2 weeks we've had a trash run defense. Our run defense has been getting shredded these past 2 weeks. We got to fix that. I don't know if it's like a want it type of thing. Like it's like we got to go out there and do it, or if it's just we're not good at it, or I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's energy, but we gotta stop the run. We gotta shut it down so they don't have Pacheco, because when they can run the ball with Pacheco, that opens up the offense. They could do a lot more things. They're versatile. So we're gonna have to stop the run. We're gonna have to stop Pacheco, and we'll have a chance. All right. So when we stop the run, who are they gonna go to? They're gonna go to Kelsey, and that's why we gotta double team Kelsey. Double team them. Charvarius Ward, Fred Warner. I don't care. I know Fred Warner's going to do because he's a linebacker. And we have our best cover corner, which is obviously Ward. So I want those 2 guys to double team him. I don't care if MVS is open free, bro. I don't care if nobody's on him and he goes deep. I do not care. We are not letting Travis Kelce beat us, bro. We are not going to let them beat us. The Ravens double teamed him in the second half. We've seen what they did in the first half. Single coverage him. He killed them. Second half, they started double teaming him. It got better. KC scored 0 points. Double team Kelsey. That's my boy Steve Wilkes got to do that. Double team Kelsey. Pass rush. Okay, after those two pass rush, we have to win. The KC O-line has been holding this whole season, like Bosa said. Gotta expose that. I think he said it to alert the refs, like, hey bro, these guys hold, so you better keep an eye out on it. I don't know how the refs are gonna take it. I don't know if they'll take it as a diss or if they'll take it as, oh, we actually gotta pay attention more to that. But I like that he said it because he could back it up. But I think we're gonna run zone because we can't blitz Mahomes. You can't blitz Mahomes. He's gonna figure out a way. He's like the best quarterback against the blitz, and we don't blitz. We're not a blitzing defense at all. We only send 3 or 4 pass rushers. But Mahomes, that's his kind of his weakness, but that's kind of every quarterback weakness. If 3 or 4 pass rushers win consistently, every QB struggles. All of them struggle. So Bosa, Chase, Hargrave, Armstead, Gregory, they gotta win consistently, and Mahomes will struggle. They'll get to him. So come on, let's get it, guys. Let's get it. On the other side of the ball, Niners offense versus Chiefs defense. We got to run it on them. We have to run CMC. We've seen in the Buffalo game, that's a weakness that we can hit. They're not that good on run defense. Ravens didn't attack that much, that often on the running game when there was opportunities. So we got to exploit that. We have CMC, so we're obviously going to give him the ball. Like, Kyle always likes to give him the ball. So we're going to try that running game, and I think we're going to expose their run defense. If we run the ball consistently, which I think we will, it's going to open up our offense. Purdy can have those crossing routes on play action to Ayuk. As the linebackers are going to get sucked in, and there's going to be free space. The crossing routes will get open. The screens will get open. So start off pounding the ball. I'd say don't throw to L'Jarius Sneed because he's been one of or the best cornerback right now. So don't throw on his side of the field. We got to protect Brock against Chris Jones, Karlaftis, Mike Dana, and that Spagnuolo's blitz, man. His blitz, especially McKivitz. He's shaky on the right side. I don't know, we got to put Kittle or a tight end there to help him out on those blitzes. Protect Brock. If a game goes to like a game-winning field goal or someone has to hit a field goal and it has to be us, I am not that confident in Jake Moody, bro. Like, I like him, but he's a rookie. And then that miss he had versus Cleveland, like, I don't have full confidence in him. I just pray that he doesn't cave. He remembers that time he lost to Cleveland. He's like, I'm going to make this. And he manifests a game-winning field goal, and I hope he makes it. But I'm not that confident. Sorry, dude. But you're a rookie. But I hope he does. Like, I for real hope he does if it goes down to that point. I think it's going to be a close game. And I'm picking my team to win 27-23. And we'll become the 6-time Super Bowl champions. The quest for 6 finally happens. I hope so for real, man. I really do. Woo, Niners, bro. And now, let's get into the main headline, right? Are Purdy and Joe Burrow on the same level? This is something I think I saw on Instagram. Like, I don't know specifically what it was, but it was just like putting all the quarterbacks together, and I saw like Purdy and Joe Burrow, and I thought about it for a second. I was like, are they really on the same level? And I started doing my research, and I was like, oh yeah, they might just be. And then ESPN the next day puts it off the graphic. I was like, oh, thanks for copying me. If you followed my Instagram at Alanizing, you've seen that I put the poll to see what. Literally the next day, ESPN put it. Like, okay, guys, thanks. You should at least tag me, but whatever. But let's get into it, right? I have 3 main points in favor of Purdy. Well, not in favor of Purdy, but 3 main points that proves, in my opinion, that Purdy's on the same level as Joe Burrow, all right? Let's start off with the first one. Weapons. Like, that's the main thing everyone wants to kill or tear down Purdy with. He has all these weapons. That's why the only reason he's good, because he has all these weapons. But let's actually compare to what Joe Burrow and Purdy have, okay? Joe Burrow. He has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. On paper, the O-line is good. Orlando Brown, Carr, Koppa, Alex Koppa, Williams, Jonah Williams. These guys are good on paper. Now, I know for some reason they can't figure it out when they're on the field, but the talent is there. That's more on coaching, to be honest. They don't coach them well enough to be good, but the talent is there. He has a good O-line on paper, so take that out of discussion. Purdy obviously has Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and Juszczyk. Obviously, we have good weapons. O-line is also good. We have Trent, who's the best left tackle in the game. Banks, Brendel, Feliciano is okay, and McKivitz, who I think is very shaky. I don't think he's that good. Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you, he has weapons. Like, Burrow has weapons. It's not just, Purdy's the only guy in the NFL who has weapons. Burrow has weapons. Jamar Chase is in the discussion of top 5 receiver the 3 years he's played in the NFL. He's been in the discussion for top 5. T. Higgins would be a number 1 receiver anywhere else in the NFL. Mixon's a good running back. So I don't know where you... Does Joe Burrow not have any weapons? Looks like he has weapons. For Purdy, obviously Ayuk and Debo. Hold up. Switch that back. Ayuk and Debo are never in those discussions like Jamar Chase of top 5 receiver. They are not. People literally call Debo, CJ, he's calling him a running back. So don't say he's the best receiver in the NFL because he's calling him a running back. Ayuk's just starting to get in that conversation. He's been getting his yards. He's been getting great, but he's not in discussion of top 5 receiver. Kittle is the one I do give you in favor. That's 1 point for Purdy. This point I do give to Burrow because Kittle, in my opinion, is the best tight end in the NFL. I know Travis Kelce, but I think Kittle can do similar things in the passing game compared to Travis Kelce. Now, I know Kelce's a better route runner. I'm not arguing that. Kelce's a better route runner. But Kittle can pass. He can catch. And he's a better blocker. So, my opinion, Kittle's the best tight end. And Burrow doesn't have a best tight end. So, I'll give you that. And we have CMC, who's the best running back. So, there's go. 1-1. 1 for Purdy. 1 for Burrow. So, it evens out. And that's my point. My point is they have an equal amount of weapons. And you have to have weapons to be successful and really good. So, it's not just Purdy. Purdy's not the only quarterback in the NFL who has good weapons. Evens out. Burrow, Purdy, same amount of weapons. Now it's number 1. Number 2 reason, the stats. Everybody loves the stats, right? If you don't have stats, it's not true, right? It's just fine. I got proven numbers. Let's compare Purdy. Let's compare Burrow's 2021 season where they went 10-7. They went to the Super Bowl, and in my opinion, that's Burrow's best, actually not in my opinion, it is his best stats season, 2021. Versus Purdy this year, his full season starting, went 12-4, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Both years, 2021, Burrow went to the Super Bowl, and then obviously this year, Brock Purdy went to the Super Bowl. So Burrow, in 2021, he had 70 completion percentage, 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, a passer rating of 108.3, a QBR of 54.3, yards per attempt 9, and he had 3 game-winning drives. Purdy, this year, his first full year starting, 69% completion percentage, was about the same as Burrow. 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, passer rating of 113, more than Burrow. QBR of 72, more than Burrow. Yards per average, 10, more than Burrow. And 1 game-winning drive, which is obviously in the playoffs, Burrow had more than him. So to be honest, Burrow only bests him by 1. And actually, in the yards, he had more yards than him. He had more touchdown passes, but he had more interceptions. And he just has more game-winning drives. But the rest, completion percentage is basically the same. Purdy has a better passer rating. He had less interceptions. He has a better QBR. He has a better yards per average. So what I'm saying is they're basically the same. Like, their stats are very similar. Another reason why I'm on the same level. And then number 3, my number 3 reason, resume. Both guys have been to the Super Bowl. They have 2 conference championships each that they've reached. Burrow went 2021, 2022. Last year Purdy went, and this year, 2 for each. None of them have regular season MVPs or offensive players. For now, we'll see if we'll see if Purdy gets an offensive player of the year or MVP. I don't think MVP, but maybe he could be in the running for offensive player of the year. So he's in that. Burrow has a comeback player of the year, and both have won Pro Bowl. Head to head, Burrow beat Purdy this year in week 8. So he's 1-0 versus Purdy. But as we know, Burrow is 3-1 versus Mahomes, and Mahomes is still way better than him. So, what does that tell you? Again, they're on the same level. 3 reasons why. I gave you 3 facts that they're on the same level. So, in conclusion, they are on the same level. Both can make great throws. Purdy, I remember that one throw, a laser touchdown that he had to Ayuk versus Pittsburgh on Patrick Peterson. It was a dart. Like, that is not a game manager pass. That is elite level quarterback pass. Both are mobile. Both got football IQ. So then why do people think this? After all hearing this, maybe I changed your mind, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But if I have changed your mind, or you were thinking the same thing as me, why are people, you're probably thinking the same. Like, why do people think this then, that there's a big gap between Joe Burrow and Purdy? In my opinion, I think it's draft position, and I think it's aesthetics. Now, Burrow, he was a number 1 overall pick in 2020. That's one. He's 6'4". It's a huge quarterback. Purdy, he's a 7th round pick. He was the last pick in 2022. He's 6'1". He looks more like 6 feet. He looks small on TV. And it's these narratives of Burrow being the number 1 overall pick, being tall, that this makes him say, oh, of course Burrow can do this. Of course he can be this good because he's the number 1 overall draft pick. Like, of course he has to be this good. And I was a victim of this too. I remember when Purdy barely started, I was like, oh yeah, he's good, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's that good because I'm waiting for him. It's not even just my eye test telling me. It was just me saying, oh, he's a 7th round pick. Like, I'm waiting for him to fail, to fall, because we're like, he's a 7th round. It's going to come back later. We have Trey Lance. We're going to need Trey Lance. That was me. I'm the guy who's making an argument for him. That was me, because he is a 7th round pick. But the NFL gets it wrong a lot, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. They get it wrong a lot in the draft. The 2018 class, Sam Darnold is the first one to make the Super Bowl, and he's our backup quarterback. The first 3 quarterbacks taken, Baker Mayfield, Darnold, and Rosen. Rosen's not even in the league. Darnold's our backup, and Baker's out there in Tampa Bay. And then the 2 quarterbacks chosen in the later steps, Josh Allen, who's top 3 quarterback, and Lamar Jackson. Those guys were the last, not last picks, but they're the last quarterbacks taken in the first round. The 2017 class, Mitch Trubisky was taken ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Peyton Manning is and my top 5 quarterbacks, Peyton Manning is the only quarterback in there who was taken number 1 overall. So these draft scouts, these managers, these front offices, they get drafting quarterbacks wrong, and they get it wrong a lot. So it doesn't matter where you're drafted at. That doesn't mean you can't play, because the scouts get it wrong. And that's why I think it is, man. That's why I think people don't have them that's why I think there's a gap between them, because Burrow is number 1 overall and Brock Purdy taken last. Even though the resume, the stats, and the weapons prove that both of them are on the same level. And that was my take on it, guys. Be sure to call me crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I literally gave you like 3 things, 3 logical points. They're pretty logical. So I don't think it's crazy. I'm not saying Purdy's way better than Burrow. I'm not saying Burrow's way better than Purdy. I just think they're on the same level. And that was my take. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Watch out for the Super Bowl review and my whole season review in the next episode. See y'all in the next one.